Baby, you're a stitch man. Baby, you're a stitch man. Baby, you're a stitch man. Duh. Woo-hoo-hoo.
Good morning, Flosstube friends. I don't know if it's morning or not, but I just woke up from the best nap ever. It was great. How is everybody? How's everybody doing? All right, enough of that. We don't have time for that. Let's just get right to it. I'm going to start off with something just so you know what's going on, in case you notice the subtlety of what's going to happen here, because it's going to be subtle. If anything, if you know anything about me, you know that I'm subtle. So I don't want this to turn into a whole, I don't want to get off on a whole political rant here, because once I get started, I won't stop. And that's not what I want to do. I'd rather, if I'm going to get off topic, I'd rather it be about movies. But this whole business about Donald Trump trying to make Canada the US's 51st state started out funny at first, but nobody up here is laughing about that anymore. It's just not, we're taking that pretty seriously, and despite what he might say, nobody's on board with that. That's never going to happen. I know people, I might even be one of them, who would literally rather die fighting against that than just say, okay, just not going to happen. Anyway, I only mention that because I was thinking, me with my tiny little soapbox here, what can I do in a subtle kind of a way just to register my disgust for, something like that? What can I do as a lowly little Canadian in his basement here? Here's what I've come up with. Rather than pushing Canada into the US, I am, at least for the duration of this video, I'm taking us back to England. So I've been talking with my friend, you know her, you love her, Emma X Stitching, who, in case you didn't notice, is quite British.
I love Stitchman Darcy so much.
I've been talking to her, and she's been teaching me all about the whimsical way in which British people speak and all the slang words that they use that she doesn't even seem to realize are kind of self-contained to that area of the world. I have no idea. She's speaking a foreign language. I have no idea what she's talking about. No idea. I've never heard any of these words before. But I'm learning, and as my form of subtle, I'm going to emphasize the word subtle protest here. I'm just going to litter in some Britishisms for the duration of this video, and you're not even going to notice. You're going to get to the end, and you're going to think, I'm not really sure why, but I kind of feel like having a cup of tea right now. It's just going to be one of those things. So just in case you happen to notice as it goes along, that's what's going on here. But I don't think you're even going to notice. It's going to be subtle. All right, so let's get on with it. I'll just dive right into why you're here and what you want to see and what I've been working on for my, or I'll dip my toe in anyway. Hang on a second. Well, I got to check my notes. So in my last video, I showed you this design of mine that I've been picking away at slowly for months now. It's this cat it's just called Meow, because cats meow. I put a lot of thought and effort into that title, by the way. So I've been picking away at this for a while now, and I showed it to you in my last video, still all rolled up in the hoop. And when the video was over, I needed to move the hoop. So I took it out of the hoop and I ironed it and I got it all flattened out. And it's been a while since I'd seen it laid out like that. And I was reminded how much I was like, this is really good. I like this a lot. And it inspired me that because I only had border and tail left. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to finish this. I'm into this right now. I'm just going to get it done. And God damn it, I finished it. I got it done. Look at that. All finished, all done. What a bloody good little bloke I am getting that done. So British. So there it is. I'm very happy with it. I just need to frame it now. I love it. And I'm glad that I stuck with the gray too. I don't know if you remember a few videos ago, I was sort of I was half tempted to just ditch this whole thing and restitch it on a different colored fabric. I'm glad I didn't, because I like it. I just really like my own stuff. I don't know. I know a lot of the stuff I do is not the type of stuff that a lot of people gravitate towards always, but I love it. I love my own stuff. I should take you on I've got all my stuff like my walls and my shelves and my like everything, every surface in this room is like decorated with my own finished stitchings of things that I designed and stitched. I should take you on a tour of my room sometime, just because you know how much I love to talk about me. But like, I love my own stuff. It makes me so happy to look around this room and just see all the things that I did and see them like they didn't exist, and then because of me they existed, and they're framed and they're on the wall and they're on shelves and they look so good. And I'm my own number one fan. You might even say, when I look around this room, I feel quite chuffed. So British! Speaking of my own designs, I'll show you one more before I move on. I've got this one that I've had for a while. It's a Salvador Dali face with a quote of his that says, "I don't do drugs, I am drugs." It's a pretty famous quote, and people like it, and I like it too, but I'm not a drug person, and like it's not really my thing. So I don't really relate to this as well as I want to. Like, I like it, and I like him, and I like this, and I don't know. I've always hesitated to stitch this one because there's just something about it that I just like. I need to connect to the thing too. You know, I can't just do something just because somebody else might like it or because it's like a thing that, you know what I mean. There's just something about it that it just never felt quite right to me. So as much as I don't want to just like go, I say this all the time, I don't want to go back over stuff I've already done, even though I keep on doing that. This is the last time. Go back over something and redo something that I already did. I did some reading about Salvador Dali. I read some of his stuff and about him, and like I found something that I liked better. So for now, this one's being chucked into the rubbish. So British. And I have replaced it with something that looks entirely similar, but I like the quote a lot better. This one says, "I am not strange. I am just not normal." That, I like that better. I'm feeling that one. And this is the kind of thing too that I think that a lot of the people at some of the markets that I go to that are upcoming are going to like too. Not that that's a reason to do it. Like, yeah, they're going to like it, but much more importantly than that, I like it. That's really the most important thing. So I have been working on that one for the last little bit, and this is how far I've gotten. It's kind of odd right now because it's not finished, but giving it the old Throne of Blood fabric treatment, which I think was a good choice. I stressed over that quite a bit. I knew I didn't want to just do it on plain white like I had it on the design there, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do. It looks a little bit different on camera than it looks. I'm looking back and forth, and like it looks a lot more dramatically mottled on camera than it does in person. But I like it. I don't have too much left, just his nose, the rest of his mustache, and the quote. I mean, it's not a little bit, but it's coming along, and I like it. I like it a lot. And it doesn't really matter if anybody else likes it because I like it. And if I don't like it, I can't bring myself to do it. People often come up to me, well, often, but like sometimes come up to me, especially at markets, and like suggest things that you should do this or you should do that. And like, it's not that I don't want to hear that kind of stuff, but like, it's usually stuff that's just like, the reason is you should do this because people like it, because people like Taylor Swift. You should do a Taylor Swift thing, or people like this, or people like that. And I'm like, I know it's important when you're selling stuff to people to do stuff that people like, but like, I don't want to sound like some sort of pretentious, like I've got artistic integrity or any of that kind of nonsense, but like, I can't do something and put my name on it if I don't like it. If like, it just doesn't like, Taylor Swift, I'm not, okay, like, let's say I do a Taylor Swift thing and like, it becomes like my number one bestseller. I just feel like such a phony. Because I don't like it. I don't want to do that. I just can't. Is that artistic integrity? Maybe it is. I don't know. Like, that's not, I don't mean it in such a pretentious kind of a way, but like, I'd rather do something like this because like, I like this. It's more something I actually am in. I only have so many minutes on this earth. Why would I spend any of those minutes doing something that I don't want to do? just because somebody else wants to do it, well, you go do it then. I think if I did that, that would just be a big load of bollocks. So British. Okay, so what else I've worked on? My trapeze girl. I don't know if you remember or not. I have worked on her a little bit, but when I say a little bit, I mean a little bit. Like, it's really not even worth showing. If I keep going, like, between now and my next segment, I'll show you. But like, it's a little bit so far. So I'm not going to show you that, but I am going to show you the other main thing that I worked on, and I want to get it out of the way now because I want to get it's all nicely flattened right now, and I want to get back to stitching it today. So Greenhouse of Oddities. I've worked on quite a bit of that, and here's what it looks like. Pages 1, 2, and 3 all finished. I'm still quite a bit behind technically, like the way that the stitch along for the year is laid out. But I feel like by April-ish, I feel like I'll be caught up with everybody else. I'm having a really good time stitching this one. I enjoy this a lot more than I thought I would. I should have joined it earlier. Emma was bugging me to join in on this one, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do that or not, but I did want to do it, and I do want to do it, and I'm enjoying it quite a bit. There's not too, I mean, I'm going to say there's not too much left on the bottom. That's not true. There is quite a bit left, but it doesn't look like as much as this stuff, and this stuff wasn't even as much as it looks like. Did any of that make sense? Was that just hang on a sec. Was that cheeky? Was that cheeky? No, not cheeky. Daft? Was that a daft thing I just said there? So British. Anyway, I'm getting a little bit tired, just a slight little bit tired of stitching on that Salvador Dali mustache, and I'm kind of itching to get back to this one. So I feel like I'll finish at least one more page of this before I decide what else I want to do, and who knows, maybe I'll just keep going, and I don't know, who knows? I don't know what I'm going to do. My pile of stuff that, I don't know if you can see it behind me here on this shelf, my pile of stuff that's like my immediate work on stuff is getting so big that it's not even finished. It's not even fitting on the shelf anymore. I'm getting, what is this, February? I'm wildly out of control already. It's getting a little bit overwhelming. I'll show you one other thing that I did before I let you go for this segment anyway. Don't ask me how this came about. I don't want to get into a whole story about it, but like, I was in my science lab mixing up some mixtures of some dyes, and one of them came out really pretty. Look at that. I should have saved one so I could like hold it up for you, but you get the idea. This is a really delicate mixture too. Like, one drop of one color, one way or the other, and it doesn't turn out quite right. So I don't know how many times I'm going to be able to repeat this, but I accidentally did something pretty, and I made some of them in 18 count and 16 count. And some of you have found them already, so I don't know, by the time I post this, if there's any left, you might want to go check it if you think you might want one of these. I'll do what I can, but I might keep one for myself. They're pretty nice. I've got 18 count, I've got 16 count, I've got 16 counts of other things too. Look, this entire bucket right here is all 16 count of various sizes and colors. See, I don't have to just do one thing. I don't have to be so married to just 18 count. I can do other things too. So that's what I've been doing as far as this stuff goes. If you like any of it, you better bagsy it as fast as you can. So British. All right, I don't know what. So did I crank the heat up in this room or something? I don't know, but it's bloody hot in here. So British. And it's making me feel a little bit knackered. So British. So I think that's good for now. I'll be back, in well, probably 2 seconds for you for whatever I have my next bit of progress on. And I don't know, Jesus, I've been sitting here for 20 something minutes already. Maybe that'll be enough for a new video. See, we'll see. Hello again to all my friends. 3 seconds later. I'll let you judge by beard growth how long you think it's actually been. It's been long enough that I'm kind of over the British thing. I'm not gonna subject you to an entire video of the whole British thing I was doing in my last segment. It was fun, but I'm over it, and I don't want to annoy you. I don't want to come across as a complete and total klutsack, as it were. Not British. That was for Jacob. Jacob will like that one. 3 or 4 years from now, whenever he gets around to watching this, he'll chuckle. Okay, now if you'll indulge me for just 2 or 3 minutes before I get into the stitching updates. You know how much I love movies. The Oscars just happened. I have a couple of thoughts about the Oscars. If you don't care about movies and you don't care about the Oscars, then just skip ahead like 3 minutes and no hard feelings. I mean, a little bit of hard feelings, but it's okay. You don't have to listen. I'll make it quick. 1, Conan. I love Conan. I grew up on Conan. I got my sense of humor from Conan. Conan gets an A+. When he brought out the sandworm from Dune playing chopsticks on the piano, I lost it. I was like, that's the Conan that I grew up with. I feel like I'm 15 years old again. A+, Conan.
Now, for no good reason, Sandworm from Dune 2 playing chopsticks on the piano.
Two, people giving Adrian Brody shit for talking too long. You talked for 5.5 minutes. You're watching the Oscars, first of all. Where are you going? What are you rushing off to? Like we sit. It's not like you won like best live action short or something like that. It's best actor. It's what you've been waiting all night for. These top categories. What are we concerned about here? We're going to cut into 2 minutes of the local midnight news. Let the man talk. Who cares? If you don't want to listen to it, go pee. 3, Anora. Anora was a really good movie. Not taking anything away from Anora. I really liked it. I might even watch it again. It was good. It wasn't, let's give Sean Baker 4 Oscars in one night good. All right? It wasn't. It was good. Pretty good. And 4, not to take anything away from Mikey Madison. She was good. She was really good in the movie. She deserved her win. But I did feel really bad for Demi Moore. And not because of any sort of like narrative of like, this is a career Oscar sentimental favorite or anything like that. Demi gave the best performance in the best movie. That's my opinion. The Substance was by a mile, by 10 miles, my favorite movie of the entire year. And it's the only of the Oscar nominees that I have watched multiple times. I loved it. What a fantastic movie-going experience. It was spectacular. It reminded me of why I love movies in the first place. It's one of those kind of movies. It's just like when somebody has an idea, and it might be kind of a wacky idea, but like you're making a movie, you're not making a documentary. And it's just like all out, full force, as fast as you can go with as much gusto as you can muster. Just run with it as fast and as furiously as you can. It was incredible. I loved it. Nothing from last year came anywhere close. It was the best movie of the year, and Demi gave the best performance of the year, and she should have won. The end. Stitchman has spoken. All right, we survived the Oscar update. Now on to the stitching update. I've only been working on 2 things kind of back and forth for the last however long it's been, week or so. One of them as Greenhouse of Oddities, which I'm enjoying very much, although it feels like this fucking frame is taking forever. Hang on, I'll show you. Hallelujah, saints be praised. I am almost finished this frame. And like at first, when I first started it, I thought this is no big deal. It's going pretty quick, and it's not too complicated. I'll get through this in no time. And I don't know how long it's been, but it sure feels like it's taken forever. What's going on? Come on. I've got this last little bit left here down at the bottom. And I do feel like I can catch up after that with, like, you know, the way that the stitch along is broken up throughout the year. It's like 98% of it was month 1, and then we're gonna break the last 2% over to like the next several months. The other chunks don't look nearly as daunting as this, but so once I get through that, I feel like I'll be able to catch up with everybody else. But my God, enough already. How about that fabric too, huh? What kind of a fabric artist dyed a piece of fabric like that? That was me. Still got a couple left. Get them while the getting's good. They're not gonna last forever. The other thing I've been working on, one of my own that I showed you last time, the updated, revamped Salvador Dali quote. Here's what it looks like today. Coming along nicely. I've just got a little bit of his little nose face left, and then the words on the side, and then I'll be all done. And I've been sort of focusing on this along with Greenhouse because I just want to market season is coming up faster than I realized. Like, I've got some stuff booked already for next month, and like after that it's going to get even busier. So I just don't want to have the exact same setup that I had last year. I want a couple of new things, you know, keep it rotated and keep it fresh. I love working on my own things, and I love my own things. I think I said this like in my last segment that I'm my own biggest fan, and I look around and I see all the things that I've done, and I see them sitting on my shelves and walls, and I love them. And I feel like maybe now is a good opportunity to give you a little tour of my room, and I'm going to do it as quickly and as fastly and as furiously and as other thingsly as possible. I know sometimes I can be a little wordy. I'm kind of rambling on right now, and I love talking about myself, so I could spend 10 minutes on each one and I could make this a 3-hour video. But watch this. You're going to be proud of me. Watch how fast I zip through all these things. Here we go. Strap yourselves in. Let's start here with the most glare possible. Have you ever danced with the devil by the pale moonlight? Asked the Joker to the young Batman.
You ever dance with the devil by the pale moonlight?
Happy Halloween, said the smiley face. David Lynch lives.
Cooper, you remind me today of a small Mexican chihuahua.
Sesame Street Toys. I am 6 years old. Strawberry fields forever. Oh my God, I'm annoying myself already. Hey, look, it's Maple's footprint. Aren't I just the cutest? Oh, and look, it's real life Maple. Isn't she just the cutest? It's a cat. What the hell did you think it was? It's a cat. And look, it's weird not to be weird. Nobody would know that better than you weirdos. Check it out. It's my kits that I bring to market. Full-on cross-stitch kits. Hundreds of them, it looks like. I know what you're thinking. Stitchman, why aren't those in your Etsy shop? I have no idea. I really don't have an answer to that. Clockwork orange fabric, hanging up to dry. Get it while it's fresh. It's not going to last long. Meow and light, cat on a moon. Meow? The religion of solitude. The only religion that I can get behind. Fuck all the things. Fuck this. Fuck off. Fuck it. Fuck you. Man, you should have seen them kicking Edgar Allan Poe. Out on a limb, I started this one. I thought it was garbage. I abandoned it. I went back to it 3 months later, finished it, and it became one of my all-time bestsellers. What the hell do I know? Don't be a dick. You know who you are.
Hey man, Will Wheaton says, don't be a dick.
I've seen the Eternal Footman hold my coat and snicker. I've been seeing him a lot lately. The Skeleton Hand and the Dying Rose. The only one that I didn't actually stitch myself. This was stitched by Stitch Lady Melissa. But you know what? I took it with me. Fuck it. A Christmas owl and a non-Christmas skull. These things sit right beside me in my little stitching nook while I stitch. And they bring me such joy. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfuckers!
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
A drippy smiley face, hang in there, and a hideous heart. You know who the hideous heart is. It was me! Red rum up here with a little Jack Nicholson on one side and a little Darcy's dad on the other side. Hi, Darcy's dad. Nice to see you. And then we got this one right here. Wait a minute. That's not one of mine. That looks more like the Flying Dutchman. How did that get in there?
So if you want to tune out here, I'm happy about that.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Not my design, but it took me 9 years to stitch her, so let's look at her for 3 more seconds. And we've got a few Christmas things that aren't hanging on the wall because it's not Christmas. Merry Christmas, motherfuckers. I'll have a blue Christmas without you, motherfuckers. And Merry fucking Christmas, motherfuckers.
That's right. That's right.
Woo! What a ride. You doing all right? I feel like I want to be like somewhat. It's hard for me to be serious, and even when I'm trying to be serious, people think that I'm joking because like everything I say is just kind of silly. But I don't really know what I'm about to say right now because it is hard for me to be serious. But like I don't know. I don't know if the things that I design and stitch are necessarily everybody's cup of tea, but they're my cup of tea, and they're like the most delicious cup of tea that I've ever had. And like, I feel so good and so much pride and so happy when I look around and see even just a little handful of things that I've done so far. There's so much more that I haven't even done yet, and then I have like that's coming. And like, you know, it's my life's work. it's important to me. It's actually, I know I can't say anything with a straight face, but like it's actually important to me. I get a little twinge of like annoyance when people try to diminish it as like a hobby, like it's something I just do to pass the time while I'm watching a movie or something like that. It's so much more than that to me, and not even like the market, like a career thing. You know, there's nothing to do with money or anything like that. It's just, it's like, it's going to sound ridiculous, but it's immortality. I want to live forever. I'm not one of those people that's like, you know, I'm here on this earth for a certain amount of time and that's okay. And one day I'll be gone. I don't want to be gone. I want to be here forever. And I know that I can't be, but and my stitchings are not also, nothing lasts forever. They're not going to last forever, but they're going to outlast me. And that gives me at least a little bit of comfort. Maybe someday that like people that I've left behind, or like, you know, my son can stand in front of one of my stitchings and like feel like I'm staring back at him. And in a very real way, I will be staring back at him. I'm in there. I put a lot of myself into every single one of these that I do. And I see myself in there and I feel myself in there. And someday if I'm not here and somebody is standing in front of one of these things and they feel like I'm there with them, I, in an actual very real way, am there with them, because this is how I live forever. And that's why it's so important to me. I think I just broke something. Anyway, and that's as genuine as you're gonna get out of me for the remainder of the year. So we'll leave it at that for now. So thank you again for watching. Check out all the things. Look, I got some pretty fabrics for you that are just waiting for you down there in my shop, or the charts to anything that you saw hanging on my walls. They're all there, ready for you to, you know, feel me staring back at you too, if you want to stitch them yourself. So does it work that way? It's a cat! Check it. So check all that out. If I talked about anybody, check them out. If you want to watch a great movie, watch The Substance. Just don't blame me for the trauma you're going to feel when it's over. And Maple and I will see you sometime in the very near future. And for now, it's super late at night and I am feeling a little bit chuff knackered. So I am going to go have a daft crumpet. Did I get that right? Not British!